In tonight's panel, attorney and founder and CEO of the Center for American Liberty, Harmeet Dillon, and Pinal County, Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb. Sheriff, I'd like to start with you tonight, and thank you for being here. Want to talk about the wall. That's something that President Trump campaigned on. We saw our colleague Emerald standing in front of a section of the wall that had not been finished, and unfortunately, there are a lot of sections like that. I've seen them with you. I've seen them in Texas as well. Let's listen to what Governor Abbott had to say.
We can. For one reason, and that's because the way that the people along the border are having their lives turned upside down. I cannot tell you the number of stories that I've heard from people who have had guns put to their heads or guns brandished at them in their ranches, in their homes, in their neighborhoods. They're afraid to have their children go play in their yards.
Sheriff, you know, we're constantly hearing about the migrants, these illegals flowing into our country, but we're not hearing about the people that live along the border that are dealing with this every single day and the concerns that they have. I know you know those firsthand.
Yeah, day by day, this presidency shows, the Biden administration shows that they really don't care about Americans. That's the message they're sending to America. They start by sending it right on the border. They don't care one bit about the fact that these people come in, they destroy these ranches, they terrorize the ranchers down in that area, then the citizens in those communities along the border, and in our communities as well. You just got through showing the numbers for fentanyl. Those fentanyl drugs, methamphetamine, all of that is coming into our communities and communities across America. But this is just par for the course with this Biden administration continuing to show they don't care about Americans.
You know, Harmeet, I want to get your legal view here because, of course, controlling the border and migration issues, these should be federal issues. However, when the federal government is simply derelict in its duty, as it's being right now, how much can the states do? You know, two of the border states, Arizona and Texas, have Republican governors. From a legal perspective, how aggressive can they get about arresting and interdicting illegal crossers, about building walls, about all the efforts that President Trump was doing? Can the states effectively do those for the next 3 years at least until we elect a better president?
Well, the states are stepping into the breach right now, Steve, as best that they can, but there's only so far that they can go. So, for example, they can certainly apprehend somebody committing a crime in the, immediate basis, and, they are supposed to inform federal law enforcement about that and deal with it. But the act of crossing the border by itself is not a state law crime. It's a federal offense. And so until you actually catch these people committing crimes that are crimes under state law, there's very little that can be done. And of course, by then, American citizens have been harmed. Now, the Biden administration is talking about root causes and so forth. They're not really concerned about the impact on American lives of this crime wave and property values going down, people being afraid to leave their homes. And of course, some of the collateral crimes with victims of rapes, the human trafficking, the drug trafficking that's happening. There's not much that can be done if our federal government refuses to enforce federal laws that protect American citizens.
Sheriff, I went down to the border with you in Arizona last year. You gave us a tour of the area of where these cartels come through, and we learned quite a bit as we saw the wall down there and so forth. You're about 70 miles from the border. But I'm curious if you can give us an idea of what it's been like with the Trump administration, now what it's like under the Biden administration. I know you don't have a lot of support right now. How has it been for you?
Yeah, Jen, and just thank you for coming. And that makes you one more than Kamala. That visit to El Paso was a fake visit. I mean, they didn't go to the border. This problem has gotten much, much worse, hundreds of times worse than what we had under President Trump. President Trump understood that there was an issue. He wanted to deal with it. He worked hand in hand with not just the federal law enforcement agencies, but with the local law enforcement agencies like us, the sheriffs. We have lost that line of communication. We have a federal government that doesn't want to work with us. You've seen the fentanyl numbers, the methamphetamine numbers across this country. We had sheriffs there today at the president's visit because we as sheriffs are fed up. That's why we've come together under Protect America Now. And you can see that at protectamericanow.com because we're going to stand together to protect the people. Harmeet's right. We're pretty limited on what we can do. So we really need the federal government to step up. And as of yet, they have not. It's been much, much worse, to answer your question, Jen.
Harmeet, just quickly, if you would, you live in California, which is a so-called sanctuary state. Does it worry you as a Californian that with potentially millions of illegals coming in, they're going to flock to California knowing that they will be safer there given their status?
Well, of course they are. I mean, in San Francisco, where I live, we even put up $60,000 homeless tents for people. So we roll out the red carpet for people without resources to come live here in our communities. And one of those people, an illegal alien from across the border, an 8-time border crosser, killed an American citizen. He right here, like a few blocks away from my office, and kind of got off from that charge. And so, unless they commit a crime in the community, there's not much that local law enforcement can do. And we, the citizens, are sitting ducks for this type of incursion to our
Understood.
country.
And unfortunately, even then in San Francisco, if they commit a crime by stealing from a CVS, it's not going to be prosecuted. So
Exactly.
All right. Well, Harmeet Dillon
situation.
and Sheriff Mark Lamb, thank you both so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.